Welcome to this summary and analysis of Book 5 in the Brothers Karamazov. This book is called Pro and Contra and dives into some of the deepest questions any novel can ask. This can be seen as the center of the whole of the Brothers Karamazov. Alyosha saw Katerina lying unconscious and his heart sank. He told Lisa, who gasped in horror, and they remembered their love and dreams. Alyosha grieved his family's destruction and Zosima's death. Lisa blessed him with a silent cross and promised a joyful future. Mrs. Kotrakova feared what she heard, but Alyosha assured her that any wedding would be far away. Alyosha returns home and hears Smerdyakov singing. He asks him about Dmitri, who has gone out to dine with Ivan in town, he says. Alyosha rushes off to the inn and talks with Ivan. He doesn't meet Dmitri. Ivan tells Alyosha he respects him, finds him mysterious, and wishes to become friends. Ivan struggles with despair, yet longs for life and wants Alyosha to heal him, not corrupt him. He gives Alyosha a childish smile. Ivan speaks on the impossibility of loving too closely. He argues humans lack Christ's perfect love and expresses outrage at children's suffering, since they haven't sinned. He believes man is more cruel than any beast, and if man invented the devil, it was done in his image. Within each lies the beast of irascibility, which explains why so many torture the helpless. We are easily angered indeed. For him, knowledge of good and evil isn't worth an innocent's suffering. Ivan wants to live in defiance, but wonders if Alyosha would be willing to make a happy world if it needed one toddler to be tortured to death. Alyosha answered no, reminding Ivan that Christ, faultless, died for mankind's absolution and bliss. Ivan then recited the Grand Inquisitor, with Jesus as the main character. Ivan's epic takes place during the Spanish Inquisition in 16th century Spain. He reflects on believers waiting for Christ's return and a Russian poet proclaiming Christ's return. Christ arrives in Seville and people recognize him. He gives sight to the blind, heals the sick, and even raises a dead child. The Inquisitor orders his arrest and visits him in his cell. He is outraged by Christ's reappearance, as it interferes with his church authority, claiming all power lies with the Pope now. The Inquisitor explains that people are given food, but at the cost of freedom in Christ's name. The old man claims that Christ shows the banner of freedom and bread from heaven rather than the banner of earthly bread. Man desires steadiness, which is provided by the church. The Grand Inquisitor admits to serving the devil and sacrificing himself to bring happiness to the masses. Christ remains silent during the Inquisitor's monologue, then kisses him on the lips, reminding him of his agreement to burn Christ at the stake. Alyosha and Ivan debate but fail to reach a concordance. Ivan tells his brother not to abandon enthusiasm for life, nor its sticky little leaves as a declaration of love. But Alyosha solves the mystery of this story, telling Ivan that the Grand Inquisitor's secret is that he really doesn't believe in God, and that is why he acts like he does. Ivan says, yes, that's the key, dear brother. The Grand Inquisitor is the triumph of rationality, but also its bankruptcy. As Ivan is leaving, Alyosha sees that he's walking kind of slow, as if its body lives on its own right now, separated from his head. The fall of Ivan has begun. Ivan, disheartened, meets Smerdyakov, whom he hated. They talk, touching on Dmitri, Fyodor, and Grushenka. Smerdyakov reveals Fyodor's secret signal to lure Grushenka in, which Ivan suspects is a way for Dmitri to gain access to Fyodor's money. He doubts that his brother would kill for the 3,000 rubles he knows of. Smerdyakov then predicts he'll have an epileptic fit the next day and advises Ivan to leave town. The next day, Ivan acts on Smerdyakov's advice and departs for Moscow. Before leaving, he remarks to Smerdyakov how nice it is to talk to a clever man, feeling liberated. As soon as he departs, Smerdyakov has an epileptic fit, while Fyodor locks himself in the house and awaits Grushenka. When analyzing Book 5 of the Brothers Karamazov, we nearly need as much space for the analysis as we do for the summary. This is a dense book filled with existential anguish and despair, plus suffocating authority, but also bright insight on how we can help each other and bring more light into our lives. As in the other books, Alyosha keeps wandering around as the messenger between the others. But you know what? He is just practicing what Zosima does all the time. Treating others with compassion and understanding is important. This idea is introduced in the beginning of the book, where Alyosha explains to Lisa that people should be treated with compassion and understanding, as they are all the same. This idea of treating others with empathy, regardless of their differences, is a recurring theme throughout the novel. It is important to see others as humans and not just as objects, to understand that everyone is fighting their own battles and that we should help them in any way we can. There is a struggle between reason and emotion in human nature. This theme is evident in Ivan's character as he expresses his struggle with the pull between understanding things rationally and understanding things romantically. Ivan's struggle with this idea reflects the human condition, where we often find ourselves torn between what we know is right and what we feel is right. It is important to remember that emotions are a natural part of being human and should not be dismissed or suppressed. Just ask Schopenhauer. Blindly following authority, particularly religious authority, can be dangerous. This theme is evident in the story of the Grand Inquisitor, where the Grand Inquisitor tells Jesus that the people are not capable of understanding or following his teachings, and that they need a simpler and more controlled system of belief. This idea is a commentary on the dangers of blindly following authority and the importance of critical thinking and questioning. It's important to remember that just because someone is in a position of authority, it doesn't mean that they automatically are always right. The story of the Grand Inquisitor serves as a commentary on the role of religion and the church in society. and the cost of personal freedom for the sake of control. It highlights the corruption of religious institutions and the dangers of blindly following authority. It also touches on themes of morality, the nature of good and evil, and the cost of personal freedom. The story serves as a reminder that religious institutions can become corrupt, and they can use their power to control the masses, rather than serve as a source of guidance and spiritual nourishment. It also highlights the importance of personal freedom and the sacrifices that may be required to obtain it. In short, Book 5 is a heavy counter-argument to the good side of religion, with Ivan listing child molestation, crushing authority, and us forgetting the true lessons from Jesus. Luckily, there are also lots of examples of how the church is a comforting, nourishing, and guiding light, often seen through Zosima and Alyosha's eyes. We should not forget that this is the depressing view of religion and mankind as seen by Ivan. He is about to break mentally, and he has almost given up. Alyosha does his best to counter his arguments here. And for many, as we can see through Alyosha's and Zosima's eyes, religion provides individuals with a sense of purpose, community, and guidance for leading a meaningful and fulfilling life as well. And as we have seen in earlier books, some of the most beautiful moments on earth involves humans.